What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a very good glory morning this morning. We're gonna spend some time reading through Genesis 4 through 7 in the chronological plan, and talk about thoughts with it, and just share. Know, hang on. I don't know if my camera's still working. I love that. All right, it's an Obi-Wan reference since Obi-Wan's coming out next. The finale's coming out next week. But yeah, this is Genesis 4. We're gonna read through it, and I got the blue letter Bible out. So Genesis 4 starts out with Cain and Abel. So let's read it. So now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. Cain spoke to Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the ground, and whoever finds me will kill me. Oh my gosh, my notifications. Then the Lord said to him, Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord put a mark on Cain, lest any who found him should attack him. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. When he built a city, he called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad fathered Mahuhel, and Mahuhel fathered Methusael, and Methusael fathered Lamech. And Lamech took two wives. The name of the one was Ada, the name of the other Zillah. Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in the tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and pipe. Zillah also bore Tubal-Cain. He was the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain's revenge is sevenfold, then Lamech is 77fold. And Adam knew his wife again. She bore a son and called his name Seth. For she said, God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. To Seth also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. And all that people began to call upon the name of the Lord. Okay. So, interesting. What do you guys think about this story of two brothers? Both, Abel gave, the firstborn of his flock to the Lord, and Cain just brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. Right. There's a lot of different words here that we could honestly explore a lot and go into a deep depth through in Hebrew, but honestly, I think it would just be better just to leave it as is. Um, uh, it's so easy to kind of get a ton of blessings in life and or work so hard to buy something, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's a new gaming system, and not thank the Lord for those things. It's so easy to be like, all right, I did that, but who protected you from you know the potential car accident that could have cost you thousands of dollars. Who protected you from the tree falling you from on your house? Who protected you from a meteor coming out of the oblivion of the sky dome and just going straight through your chest and you just being killed on the spot? Um, that's actually happened. Not too frequently, but I mean, it's just like I look at those things and I'm just like, wow, I guess that person was meant to die. I don't know. Like, what are the odds? But I think here it's just really good just to be thankful for what you have and to and not let rivalry get to the point where it's just pure hateful, especially towards a brother. It's just so unfortunate. Like literally the third and fourth human beings on this planet, one of them killed the other. Um, it's just wow, it's crazy. And I like how the Lord, like, he knew what Cain did, but he questions him. Uh, like, oh, I don't know, God. Like, am I my brother's keeper? Like, come on, Cain, you're not fooling anybody. Cain gets cursed. There's controversy of what the curse is. Some people say it's a racist claim. Says that like races actually derived from Cain, because the mark was like his skin color changing. But honestly, I don't think that's what the mark was, and I don't think we should focus on the mark. The mark could be anything. Um, so honestly, and I don't think it's that important. Obviously, I think the Bible is important. Every verse is important, but I don't think we're never gonna know until we're dead what the mark of Cain was. So I don't think we should like focus too much what the mark was. Um, Also, we could see that humanity. It looks like humanity is getting worse and worse. Uh, because Lamech, like over a period of time, um, Lamech even boasts that he's like basically boasts of killing a man, and basically boasts and it seems like he's proud of this. The Bible Project says that he's proud of for taking revenge, and I would agree. Yeah, I think that's Genesis 4. If you guys have any questions, go to this tool, look up words. Um, Actually, you know what? It would be interesting to know what. I know I said it doesn't really matter or focus on the mark, but like, what is the Hebrew word for mark? A sign. Um, off. It's a feminine noun. Interesting. Sign, signal, a distinguishing mark, banner, remembrance, miraculous sign, omen, warning, token, ensign, standard, miracle, proof. It could have been a token, for all we know. It could have been a banner. Like, what if, like, God already gave Adam and Eve animal skins, so it could have, it might as well could have been a banner. What is this? How do you say this?
Strong's H 226. Oath.
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 Interesting. Okay. So that's Genesis 4. Let's go to Genesis 5. So this is Adam's descendants to Noah. Chronologically, the Chronicles is very important. So let's read this. Genesis 5. This is the book of the generations of Adam. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and named for them man when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he fathered a son in his own likeness after his image and named him Seth. The days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he fathered Enosh. Seth lived after he fathered Enosh 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he fathered Canaan. Enosh lived after he fathered Canaan 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he fathered Mahalalel. Canaan lived after he fathered Mahalalel 840 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he fathered Jared. Mahalalel lived after he fathered Jared 830 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he fathered Enoch. Jared lived after he fathered Enoch 800 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after he fathered Methuselah 300 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he fathered Lamech. Methuselah lived after he fathered Lamech 782 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he fathered a son, and called his name Noah, saying, Out of the ground that the Lord has cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the painful toil of our hands. Lamech had lived after he fathered Noah 595 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. After Noah was 500 years old, Noah fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, that's Genesis 5. So it is important. This chapter comes on later on in Luke 3 and First Chronicles? First Chronicles, right. So I know it's kind of boring to read through this, but it's very important to pick up these names. Like when we read Luke, the son of Canaan, the son of Apaxah, the son of Shem, the son of Noah, the son of Lamech, the son of Methuselah, the son of Enoch, the son of Jared, the son of Mahalalel, the son of Canaan, the sons of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, the son of God. The Messiah, Jesus, derives. Luke gives a chronological order deriving all the way back to Adam, the son of God. So it's a very important chapter, and a lot of people just skip this, but we really should know this stuff. And something else that I've been wondering throughout the years, what happened to Enoch, or Enoch, or however you want to pronounce his name? Wait. Oh, we can actually pronounce it ourselves.
Strong's H2585. Hanoch.
Hanoch? His name is Hanoch? This entire time, I thought it was Enoch. Hanoch. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, Enoch is is like Jesus. It's not Yahshua. It's Hanoch. So, but yeah, what happened to Hanoch or Enoch? Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. That's a good question. Why did God take him? Was he holier than everybody else? Was he better? What does God took him mean?
Strong's H3947.
What does take mean? To take, get fetched, lay hold of, seize, receive, acquire, buy, bring, marry, take a wife, snatch, take away. So it doesn't say like smite, strike, killed, so I think Enoch is still alive. And I think the most popular opinion is that no one thinks that Enoch got killed by God. It could be to be captured, though, to be taken away, to be removed. Yeah, so that's an interesting theory. If speaking from or out, to be stolen from, to be taken a captive, to be taken away, be removed. Yeah, it's an interesting word. For whatever reason, Enoch was there, Enoch's not there. We don't know the exact reason why, though. So, but it's interesting. Will Enoch ever show up? Will he ever appear later on? Is Enoch in paradise? Is he with Jesus right now? Did he go to Abraham's side, or the place that Abraham will eventually go to? We don't know. So that's Genesis 5. Let's go to Genesis 6. Increasing corruption on earth. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born unto them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came to the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the land, man and animals, and creeping things of the birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. Okay. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Noah and the flood. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God. And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and on the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it: the length of the ark 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind, 2 of every sort shall come into you to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this, he did all that God commanded him. Okay, so just 6 here looks like it has 2 parts. We see we kind of got a prelude to this with Lamech, but the earth is becoming more corrupt, right? A lot of people, like God even regrets making man, and a lot of skeptics, a lot of atheists that I know that eventually turned away from God. This is actually one of the main passages that they use because there's so many questions here, like why would God create the entire world and just kill everybody? Uh, but it's so easy to think that God is like just this, like a Zeus in the sky that's smiting everybody all the time. Uh, but I find it interesting that it says here, the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. Um, he was grieved. He was sad. It wasn't like it didn't say, and it angered him to his heart. It grieved him. What does grieved mean?
Strong's H 6080. Strong's H 6087. Atsav.
I'd say
Atsav.
to hurt, pain, grieve, displease, vex, rest. To hurt, pain, to be in pain, to be pained, be grieved, to vex, torture, to cause pain, to feel grieved, to be vexed, to shape, fashion, make, form, stretch into shape, worship. Like to vex, torture, to cause pain, feel greed, be vexed. Wow. Be pained, be grieved. So it wasn't like an anger that the Lord faces, like especially later on, like on the mountain of Ararat with think it's Ararat. What is that with Noah? I don't even know. Whatever the mountain with Noah makes a covenant. Or no, not Noah, but Moses makes a Mosaic covenant with the Lord. Um, but honestly, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about those who feel hurt about this. Um, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's one of those things where it's like uh, you kind of just have to be like, all right, if there is a God of the universe, I'm sure there is a really good explanation for him doing this. Like with where the world is at now, there's so much corruption, so many sinful hearts, so many like extremists. Where would the world would have been if God didn't, just start over? Could have been a lot worse. Maybe the world would have voted nuked each other already. Who knows? But it's one of those things where, as a Christian, I just see this and I'm like, all right, God, God, if there is a God in the world, He can do whatever He pleases, and whatever He thinks is best. And for whatever instance, we don't get an answer really besides it was because of man's wickedness that He did this thing. Uh, you just have to. I just put trust that God did the right thing. You know, that's my explanation for this. There's nothing else in scripture where I could be like, all right, this is why. But it's also another sign there will be a judgment. First, and I believe it's First Peter or Second Peter. Peter comes out and says, all right, how do you not believe that there's not a hell? Look at the flood. God did justice upon man who are sinful and wicked. So maybe that was one of the reasons he did this. So knowing the flood, um, it's interesting that God decides not to kill everybody. Oh yeah, it's First Peter 3:20. Because if only did not obey when God's patience waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is 8 persons, were brought safely through water. So by faith Noah, being warned by God concerning events as yet unseen, and reverent fear, constructed an ark for the saving of his household. By this he condemned the world and became an heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. So yeah, that's something good to know. But yeah, so let's go to Genesis 7. So Genesis 7. Then the Lord said to Noah, go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate. And 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens also, male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of all the earth. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground. And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floods of waters came upon the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Of clean animals and of animals that are not clean, and of birds and of everything that creeps on the ground, 2 and 2, male and female, went into the ark with Noah as God had commanded him. And after 7 days the waters of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day, on the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. And rain fell upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his sons, Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Noah's wife and 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. They and every beast according to its kind, all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life. And those that entered, male and female, and of all the flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. The flood continued 40 days on the earth. The waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high from the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that all the high mountains on the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep. And all the flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, livestock, beasts, and all swarming creatures that swarm around the earth, no man can. Everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. He blotted out every living thing that was on the face of the ground, man and animals, creeping things, and birds of the heavens. They were blotted out from the earth. Only Noah was left and those who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed on earth 150 days. So Genesis 7, what do you guys think? It's another hard pill to swallow. As someone who's logical, that always wants a reason why someone does something, it's hard, to understand that yes, God is love, but He's also got a justice, and He justified doing this by man's evil intentions. What we read in Genesis 6, and yeah, is basically it. Now, uh, it's also like super common for people to pull up like, oh, this is super common to stories, like the deluge. Was a series of mid-century campaigns. Wait, flood, the deluge. So yeah, the deluge. So when you look at deluge, uh, basically you can read this, and majority, I would say probably like 99% of humanity doesn't believe the flood actually happened. And I'm not here to prove that it did. It's one of those things where I kind of have to kind of bite my tongue, and I'm allowed to question it, but at the same time, I don't know everything. And this is one of the things that has greatly um, like basically questioned me for the longest time. But throughout history, there's always been tons and tons and tons and tons of basically, I think every civilization has had a great flood myth or a great flood story, right? And a lot of people say that the biblical flood was actually inspired by the epic of Gilgamesh, right? But honestly, like 1200 BC to 2100, uh, I just see this as the Bible, right? This is the Bible's version of the flood, and I think I just see this more of, if every great civilization has had a major flood story, where did those stories derive from? Where did they come from? That's a great question. My theory is uh, when the when the population spread out, Noah and his kids never forgot. I mean, how can you forget this ever happened? They definitely told their kids. Those kids told their kids. Those kids told their kids. And eventually, these great epics slash stories started coming out, and about what happened, what were the actual events of this, and whether you believe this happened or not, I do think that's something to question. Like, all right, why does every great civilization have a flood myth? Um, you know, it's kind of like, all right, well, it's kind of like the same argument of like, all right, if there's a god, you compare them to the Babylon gods or the Greek gods. It's like, does that really matter? Like, it's not like during the time, God only having one God was so crazy, and totally stood against everybody else. And I think that's just a great testimony of like why this is something even more worth looking into. So, but yeah, that's Genesis 7 or Genesis 4 through 7. Thank you guys. I really hope you have a great time at work, with school, with anything you have going on today, and I'll see you next time.